The movie begins with our protagonist, Lucy, driving her car while listening to a man speak. We switch to New Zealand, where a girl is swinging a stick. She gets a phone call from Lucy, who is the girl's mom. Lucy tells her daughter, Dylan, that she is going to be on a semi-silent retreat in the wilderness. Thus, Dylan should not expect to hear from her. Arriving at her destination, Lucy occupies the reception area. The receptionist tells her the silence will begin at 6 p.m. She also says there is no Wi-Fi outside the reception. Furthermore, she gives Lucy a document to sign for her to agree to be on a promotional DVD, but Lucy doesn't want to be filmed, so she does not want to sign it. She doesn't want her daughter to see what she could say if she says anything. We see her in her given room. She stands near the trash outside of it to talk on her phone because it's the only area with reception. She is talking to Dylan, who asks why she would phone her dad, for she never calls him. Her mother replies the reason is that Dylan won't be able to call her. We learn the girl does not usually call either of them. Lucy thinks Dylan's job is dangerous and accidents can happen. The girl tells her not to worry. Her mother concludes the conversation by saying she will text Dylan when the silence is over. The next scene has several people sitting in a room, listening to the calm voice of a man talking to them. He is Elon, the group leader, inviting them to be quiet. He also invites them to be somewhat mysterious. Smiling at each other is something Elon encourages them not to do. Afterward, we see a man holding Dylan's neck in the woods. She tells him he can't hurt her, and she has full control. It seems like they are practicing self-defense. Once the man starts to pretend to be aggressive, she falls. He asks if she is okay, and she laughs. She tells him he was great. Soon she tries to rip an apple in half, but can't. Therefore, he does it for her. Dylan wants to beat him at everything. Briefly switching to her mother, she tries to sleep in her room, yet a flickering light outside makes it hard. Back to Dylan, she manages to rip an apple in half. Later, she tries to act scary in front of a mirror. We see her as part of a film crew. The director tells her what she is doing wrong, so they have to film a scene again. The scene gets shot, and she falls, pretending to get struck by arrows that will be added as graphics to the scene. Alas, we hear it still wasn't done right. Following this, Dylan occupies the washroom with bruises on her. Shifting to Lucy, she stands near a whiteboard that people can write their thoughts on. She writes that one must never give in to hope. Moving along, she sits alone, reading in silence. A young lady approaches her, asking Lucy if she could take a photo of the former. When Lucy does, the lady poses and asks if Lucy could take a few. She is Beverly, who doesn't seem too happy with the photos. In the next scene, the people at the retreat are at a gathering. A man named Dion speaks to the group, saying his dad was an intimidator. He stopped bothering Dion once Dion got bigger than him. He begged his body to get bigger. Now he supports his father financially because the latter is ill and because he's Dion's father. He is ashamed and scared of what his sister is going to say. If their dad hurts her, Dion claims he will finish him off. Elon asks the group if anyone from it can connect the speaker's story. Many people raise their hands, including Lucy. The next person to speak is Beverly. Like Lucy said earlier, she says she doesn't want to be filmed. She starts her story by saying she is filled with shame upon shame. She is scared her youth will go away. Elon assures her it will, and laughs. Beverly knows what it's like to have someone analyze her body in what she calls a reptilian way. Sometimes she can't finish sentences due to not being able to tell if an unspecified they are looking or listening. She also likes to write disturbing notes. Furthermore, she fantasizes about her funeral. She is young in those fantasies. Beverly worries about disappearing and would rather be deceased. She cries saying all of this. Elon tells her this kind of illusion has a built-in self-destructive mechanism. It is a ship that can only take her to a certain distance until it destroys itself. But she is the passenger, not the vehicle. Elon also says if she is at the airport knowing her plane will crash, she should not get on it. However, sometimes crashing has its benefits. Lucy is the third speaker. She says her parents were always testing her for greatness, which sharpened her. She used to feel like it was going somewhere. Although her parents wanted to be happy, she says they were not. She wanted it too. The problem is that she discovered happiness does not stick to her. Lucy realized a long time ago that maybe there is something more than happiness. She guesses she is ashamed that in all this time, she is still just in tandem with this other thing. From her speech, we learn she was an actor in her youth. The lady is still troubled to live off the money she made from playing the character. She says gave her an eating disorder. Elon takes her story in like he does with everyone, and asks if anyone relates to it. The scene cuts to prevent us from seeing if anyone does. Lucy sits outside close to the trash again, texting on her phone. She gets a surprise visit from Elon, who is surprised to see her too. He tells Lucy she discovered his smoking corner. Other than his unexpected presence, she is surprised that he smokes. The group leader replies he's not a monk, he's enlightened. She thought enlightened people weren't supposed to say they were such. He says he might as well enjoy enlightenment while it lasts. He is certain that it won't. Before Elon leaves, he says she is smiling a lot now. He wants her to know it changes her face entirely, and it's wonderful. Afterward, a member of the retreat asks Lucy how close she has been in tandem with the something more that she mentioned during her talk. Lucy says she feels inseparable from it, yet somehow also separated. Expanding on the concept, she says there is a knowing that she is in another place that isn't every day. Beverly is there to ask why it isn't every day. She wants to know what is stopping Lucy from being enlightened. Beverly considers herself enlightened despite not being conscious of it or the language to explain it. Lucy says she had moments where she felt a true connection to everything that is. We see she struggles to talk to the people there, who seem to be saying annoying things to her. Later, she lies in bed, holding her head and saying she wants no more of what she experienced. In the next scene, our attention falls on Dylan, who jumps on the stairs to purposefully roll down them like an overactive kid. She goofs around with a man there prior to playing games. In the woods, she is with the man from earlier again. She tells him she has nothing to say, which he calls that a good thing. They share the same cigarette. When she wants him to practice choking her, they suddenly start kissing. We see Lucy struggling with the flickering light. It doesn't take long for us to hear an unseen man telling her she is a disgusting specimen. He says an unspecified "they" leave her alone because of it. We see a bizarre image of hair sprouting from a toilet. A person we can't see too well is on the bed with her, saying she thinks she can get away from him but she won't. He says he is her. Following this, Lucy lies outside and Elon greets her there. She tells him she dreamed she was a piece of excrement. This makes him laugh before he says she has a naughty mind. He reminds her not to think, and she gives him a thumbs up. At the group meeting, Beverly goes to speak a second time. She says last night she felt like she was being poured out of a vessel. She was terrified, a mental state that was also pouring out of her. She likens it to froth. It was all mixing with her. Elon wants Beverly to show the group her face, so she does. For some reason, Lucy sits with her middle finger facing in Beverly's direction. She takes her time sliding the finger down her face for her disapproval to last longer. Perhaps she is annoyed with what Beverly said. Moving along, Elon wants each member of the group to find a partner. Lucy gets paired with Beverly. Elon instructs everyone to face the picture of the mountain on the wall. Once they do, the ones on the right side get assigned the role of being a mother, whilst their partners become the baby. Elon says the rules are that the babies cannot walk or talk. It will be the next hour of their lives. Elon wants the mothers to use a made-up language to soothe the babies. The moms are allowed to whisper to each other every quarter hour. Suddenly, a man starts to imitate crying, taking the concept of being a baby seriously right away. While he still cries, we see Lucy lying on Beverly's lap. The young lady uses baby talk to speak to Lucy, which likely annoys the latter further. She asks Lucy if she excreted. She whispers to the member named Petunia, saying she thinks her baby peed. This prompts Lucy to angrily say she did no such thing, breaking one of the exercise's rules. Soon Lucy starts to either pretend to cry or cry for real. Beverly tries to calm her. Afterward, Elon instructs the babies to tell their mom exactly what they mean to say. Thus, Lucy tells Beverly to take her own life. She realizes she made a mistake by telling it to the person who struggles with such dark thoughts. Beverly responds by walking out of the room and Lucy is forced to follow her. She tells Beverly she did not mean to say it to her. She meant to say it to her real mom. Unfortunately, Beverly does not care. She wants Lucy to know the latter is a toxic nightmare. During mealtime, Lucy finds herself sitting alone at the table. In her room, she says she is nothing. She lies in bed and starts to count down from 10,000. Switching to Elon in his room, he plays chess on his laptop. Petunia stands outside his room, telling him he doesn't tell the story of how his awakening happened anymore. She asks if it's a permanent decision. The man replies that people focus on it too much, and it won't help. She asks if he can tell it to her again. He won't, because he thinks it won't help her. Petunia walks away, being at least slightly upset. At another group meeting, Lucy participates in speaking. Once she sits on the chair, Beverly goes outside to not have to listen to her. Elon advises Lucy to neither edit nor try too hard. She is not broken, he adds. She is enough. She asks him how he knows this, and he says he simply does. Lucy says she wasn't enough for her mother or the father of her child. She wasn't even enough for her child. She cries, saying her daughter still wants something, but Lucy does not know what it is. She is scared. She hopes he is right about her being enough. Since she hopes for this, Elon yells for her not to hope. The man seems to briefly lose his calm. Instead of hoping, he tells her to be. He doesn't want her to give in to hope. The moment she sits on the floor, Beverly returns to the room. She sits on the chair to speak. She says she doesn't know what will happen next, yet she surrendered to something. She also says that what she's saying might as well be nothing. It might be better for her to say nothing, which causes her to laugh. When she guesses she has nothing to say, Lucy instantly spills water on her. She follows this act by rudely yelling for Beverly to be quiet if she has nothing. The water and the yell are not enough, for she removes the chair Beverly sat on to slam the girl down with it. She lets out a furious scream at the unconscious Beverly lying on the floor. Lucy acts hysterical, prompting Dion to hold her. Her demeanor is much more calm with him doing it. She tells him that maybe he should take his father's life. Although he rudely tells her to be quiet, he's not angry saying it. He smiles instead. Soon we see firefighters taking Beverly away. The police are present too, waiting for Dion to let go of Lucy. He ends up escorting her to the police car. In the meantime, Elon runs away into the woods with a backpack. The next scene has Dylan practicing her acting with the man. He grabs her neck and throws a fake punch at her, but she truly tumbles downhill by accident. Later, she lies in a tent with injuries. Her acting partner enters, telling her he wants to finish himself for his mistake. At a different time, Dylan gets phoned by her father. He informs her of what happened to her mom, and the girl is shocked to hear about it. Switching to Lucy, she sits in a room that a man walks into. He says he is her public defender, Leo. He also says he is special, a compliment his mother gave him. Once Leo says she hit a person with a chair. Lucy says, "The person is very annoying." She asks if she reminds him of his mom, to which he replies she slightly does. Lucy learns his mother is deceased. He asks how she knew, and she says because she is deceased too. Leo speaks well of his mom, saying she was very honest. However, Lucy is realistic, so she thinks the woman wasn't entirely honest. Regarding how she wants to plead, Lucy says she doesn't feel guilty. Dylan comes to two guys, and one of them says she looks okay. She replies she might be at a low point in her life. This seems to make the one who said it leave. Sitting with the other one, she asks if he's in an open relationship. He says he isn't. Following this, Dylan rolls along a hallway until someone walks there. The man is her other co-worker, who sits with the girl. They hug each other and she tells him she's sorry. At the airport, Dylan wears an eye patch. The employee there says something of hers looks like a weapon, therefore she wants Dylan to present it. As the lady is inspecting it, Dylan says it's her walking stick. Soon we see a modeling poster of Beverly in the room Dylan occupies. Due to this, we get a surreal segment of Beverly acting like a stewardess. Dylan flies to the place while everything is animated. Beverly informs her that the plane is crashing, and she screams with an unnaturally wide mouth. At this moment, Dylan sees her mom's face covering the window close by. For a short time, we get to see Beverly lying in a hospital bed, yelling for help to get Lucy off of her. She is traumatized, for Lucy isn't even there. In the next scene, Dylan arrives at a hotel building. She walks into the lobby, where her mother plays a piano. Upon being asked what she's doing there, Dylan replies she is there to support her mom. Lucy says she is okay. When Dylan tries to book a room, she learns the hotel is full. Thus, she returns to her mother to ask if she can stay in her room. Of course, Lucy welcomes her daughter. They enter the room and Lucy asks if Dylan wants a hug. The girl does not answer. She is curious to know if what her mom did was an accident. "It felt right at the moment," Lucy says. Dylan firmly tells her violence is not the answer. She wants her mother to say why she did it. Once she learns the reason, she says it's not good enough to injure someone like that because the person is merely annoying. Lucy says Dylan is annoying too, so she holds her daughter down to the bed. But nothing bad comes of it. The act was at least partially playful. Later, Dylan eats pizza in bed, and Lucy asks if she could have some. The girl says she cannot, despite her mom allowing her to stay in her room. Dylan says she asked her earlier if Lucy wanted some, to which she answered she did not. Now Lucy pleads to have some, adding she changed her mind. Since the girl isn't giving it to her, Lucy takes a slice, yet she doesn't like it. Dylan lies in bed and her mom is crouched beside her. She asks if Dylan thinks she's a bad mother. "It does not matter," says the girl. Although she thinks Lucy was bad sometimes, she doesn't think she's a bad person. She just had bad behavior. During her youth, Dylan thought her mom was trying to escape from her. Now she thinks her mom was simply unhappy, and it was a hard time. Lucy is curious to know in what ways she was bad. Dylan has a hard time answering. She updates what she said earlier to Lucy's mom being difficult. She knows the woman made it hard for Lucy to give Dylan what she needed. From their conversation, we learn Lucy thinks her daughter tried to take her own life, but Dylan disagrees with this. One of the things that upset Dylan very much is something her mom told her in the past. She said if Dylan were to perish, Lucy would like to think she would get over it. Lucy still says she would like to think that. She wouldn't want to be miserable. This response upsets her daughter to the point of her angrily telling Lucy that the latter is miserable. With that, she takes her blanket to the balcony. Come morning, we see the girl spent the night out there. Subsequently, she sits in a restaurant with Leo and her mother. Dylan orders a vegetarian meal whilst Lucy orders bacon. Leo asks Lucy if she told Beverly to take her own life. She says she did, yet it wasn't meant to her. Dylan thinks she meant to say it to Dylan. This prompts Lucy to firmly tell her daughter she didn't. She says she loves Dylan more than life itself. She says what she did to Beverly was very unfair and tells Leo to do whatever is right. The lawyer replies, "What is right is relative to the law." Afterward, Lucy goes outside, where Dylan is forced to soon follow her. She eventually joins her mother at a stream. Lucy says the nonsense has got to stop. She also says Dylan will have to find a way to forgive her. Furthermore, she changes the upsetting statement she made in the past. She says if Dylan perishes, Lucy would have to believe she could get over it, because she's not sure she could. She is barely managing to get over everything else. She tells Dylan to take good care of herself, and she loves the girl very much. Suddenly, Leo interrupts them to report what the special is at the restaurant they all left. Ignoring the special, Lucy starts to walk further into the woods. Dylan tells Leo she has to get her. The man decides to join. The next scene has Dylan yelling out to her mother, but the lady is not showing herself. By accident, the girl starts to behave affectionately toward Leo and apologizes for it, since he has no problem with it. She continues. Returning to their reason for being there, Leo says a cave is nearby, for he knows this place. Thus they find it. As Dylan tries to enter, Leo warns her not to go too far due to him almost perishing there. Despite his warning, the brave girl decides to go inside. Interestingly, she finds shoes there. What's more interesting is that she finds Elon in the cave. He has decided to hide there to not deal with the incident that took place at his retreat. The man runs away from Dylan. She hears Leo yelling to her that he knows where her mom is. When the girl leaves the cave, we see Elon continuing to inhabit it. Elsewhere, the duo approaches Lucy, who stands on a hill. Lucy wants Leo to take a photo of her with her daughter before she goes to jail, yet he says she's not going there. Lucy and Dylan start doing certain movements together while Leo watches them. The film concludes with them hugging each other.